Did you know that romance novels have a beat sheet? In order for a romance novel to deliver on its promise, there are certain key points that the author needs to hit or meet. Just as with screenplays or television scripts, there are certain points in a novel where certain things are expected to occur. So today we are going to talk about romance novels, their beat sheets, and what notes we need to hit in order to have a successful novel. This year has been a year of intense writing for me. I have been putting out lots of stories. I have been publishing lots of stories, and I just don't want to overlook some of the beats or to skip some of the processes while writing at such a rapid speed. So this video is to help me and to remind me to not take shortcuts while writing my stories, to deliver on all the promises that I make, and to hit every beat that is required in order to have a successful, entertaining novel. So I have gone to the internet, which is my favorite resource, and I have found an article, and it is written by Nisha Tooley, and I found it on Dabble Craft Your Story. And the title of this particular article is Romance Novel Beat Sheet, Your Guide to Hitting All the Right Notes. This online article was published July 26, 2023, so it is relatively new. If you're writing a romance novel, remember, they play by their own set of rules. A romance novel not only has a plot arc, it also has the romance arc, which is usually more important than the plot. Today we're going to look at a story beat to help craft your romance novel. Beats are specific points of significance that occur in stories that A, help keep the tension up, and B, help drive the story forward. They can also be extremely useful in helping you map out your story before you dive into your first draft. As I have mentioned in earlier videos, I am working on my Christmas novel, A Kamani Christmas, and I am trying to do all the research before I begin. So I am using Walter Dean Meyer's approach, which is collecting photographs and images of all my characters, writing out all of their traits, all of their good and bad qualities, and I am also developing their character arc, which is their journey. You see them at the beginning of the story, and you see how they become different in some way at the end of the story. I'm also looking at the romance arc in the story from beginning to end. And in addition to that, I have printed up, or actually I've stored in my phone, the different beats, and I'm making notes in these beats before I actually begin writing the story. I've also collected lots of photos on family members, housing situations, where they live, what are their motivating goals. I'm trying to gather all the information and have a complete picture of my characters, of their setting, of their drives, of their wants, and what the plot itself involves before I begin writing. So as I said, this video is helping me in my planning process before I begin. So I have a question for my viewing audience. If you're a writer, do you know whether you're a plotter or a pantser? A plotter is a person that outlines and plots their story. A pantser is someone like me who writes by the seat of my pants. However, because I've been writing for such a long time, I have now adapted some plotting aspects to my writing as well as some pantsing. So I will do a combination of both. Beat 1 is introducing your hero. This is where we meet your main character. Even if you're writing a dual point of view novel, you're going to have one character that has the main character energy. If you're writing a traditional male-female romance, this is often the female character, but it doesn't have to be. And obviously, it's different if you're writing a male-male or a female-female romance. If you're writing a poly relationship that features 3 or more people, you'll still likely have that one person around whom the story circles. Start by establishing this hero 1 character in their normal. What does their everyday life look like? Of course, within this normal, there is going to be something missing from their lives, something that is off, something that drives your plot forward. Whether it's a lack of romance, a professional goal, or a general ennui. Next, we will introduce hero number 2. Now we meet the love interest. Who is this person and what do they want? If you're writing a single point of view novel from the first hero's point of view, this character's development might not get as much attention. However, don't forget that this character needs both a character arc and a romance arc. If you're writing dual point of view, the love interest's arc is often even more in depth. The meet cute is a romance novel beat. The meet cute is a common term you'll hear in romance writing, which refers to the moment that your love interests meet, often in an awkward or humorous circumstance. If you're writing a story where they already know one another, then the meet cute is the moment when things in the relationship start to shift. The next beat is the no way out. For a romance arc to really hit, there has to be a very good reason these 2 people cannot be together, at least not in their minds. This might be a difference of personalities, something physical like living on other sides of the world, or it could even be your good old-fashioned forbidden love. As your amazing romance novel continues, you want to make sure that you hit all the beats. So the next beat is the turning point. This typically closes out Act 1, or the setup. This is a moment that rises the stakes of the game, defining your character's motivations with more clarity and propelling your narrative forward. I'd like to take a moment here to interject that once you have familiarized yourself with the beats and once you have the pattern set and the formula set for this type of writing, you are able to create short stories and possibly combine some of the beats so that you meet them all, but in a shorter, condensed way. Now we are coming to the midpoint, the rising stakes. At this point, things are starting to heat up, both metaphorically and physically. During this point, something happens that brings your lovebirds together. Something that says, okay, so maybe this person is more than just my enemy / friend / whatever. This might also be a rising of the sexual tension. This is the part of writing that I love. The next beat is the really no way. Of course, no matter how much they seem destined for one another, they're going to keep fighting their emotions, their feelings, or something is going to keep standing in their way. After all, nothing in this life worth having is easy, is it? The next beat is the second turning point. Once again, something happens to turn up the stakes even higher, making it seem like your lovebirds are just never going to get a break. Then we have the dark night of soul, the crisis. This is the lowest point for your characters, where it seems that their love is impossible. And the last beat is the final resolution, the happily ever after, or the happily for now. And this is the moment where they overcome all the odds